Yes friends, welcome once again to the class and welcome once again to the channel. Let's move on towards our next topic, which is about prediction of shell model. What are the various predictions of shell model? Let us look at that. So stability of closed shell nuclei or magic nuclei is one of the predictions of nuclear shell model. So stability of closed shell nuclei or magic nuclei. You know this very well that magic nuclei are the nuclei which have 2, 8, 20, 28, 50, 82 and 126 number of total nucleons, that is either proton or neutron. Okay. So stability of closed shell nuclei or magic nuclei is predicted by nuclear shell model. For example, the description has been written over here. For nuclei with both n and z as magic numbers. Okay. Now what is this n? Capital N. Capital N is your total number of neutrons. Okay. What is capital N? Total number of neutrons. Capital N is total number of neutrons. And what is your capital Z? Capital Z is your atomic number. Okay. Capital Z is your atomic number, and atomic number is what? Atomic number is total number of protons. Okay. Total number of protons, that is your capital Z. Okay. So the nuclei with both n, that is total number of neutrons, and z, that is total number of protons, when both of them are magic numbers. Okay. When n and capital Z, when that is total number of neutrons, that is capital N, and z, that is total number of protons, when both of them are magic numbers, then what happens? Subshells of neutrons and protons are completely filled. Okay, now let me tell you this particular fact. Suppose you have helium 2, 4. Okay, so what is the value of Z for helium? Z equal to 2 for helium. And what is the value of N? 4 minus 2, which is again equal to 2. So the number of neutrons, that is N, is also 2, and number of protons is also 2. So both of them, that is number of proton and number of neutron, both of them are what? Magic numbers. As both of them are magic numbers, so the shells for neutron will also be completely filled, because 2 is a magic number. So that's why shells of neutron will also be completely filled, and as 2 is a magic number, that's why shells of protons will also be completely filled. Okay. So the nuclei which have both n and z as magic number, subshells of neutrons and protons are completely filled. Similarly, we might take another example also, which is oxygen 816. Okay, oxygen 816. Now if you try to find out the value of Z for this, so it will be equal to 8, and what will be the value of N? Value of N will be equal to 16 minus 8, which is again equal to 8. Okay, so the total number of protons is also a magic number. Z equal to 8, that is total number of protons is also a magic number, and total number of neutrons, which is also 8, it is also a magic number. Okay. So in this particular case also, the subshells of neutrons will also be completely filled, and the subshells of protons will also be completely filled. So for nuclei with both n and z as magic numbers, so these are the two examples, He24 and O816. These are two examples where n and z both are magic numbers. Okay. Exclusion principle therefore requires that for both neutron and proton systems. Okay. What does it mean by exclusion principle? I have already told you regarding the Pauli's exclusion principle in the previous lecture. Regarding the Pauli's exclusion principle, I have already told to you in the previous lecture. If you haven't watched the previous lectures, then I request you to go to the link in the description below, description of this video. You can go to that link, particular link, and you can click on that link and watch from the very first lecture. You will understand each and every concept very clearly then. Okay. And if you are already aware about nuclear and particle physics but don't know about Pauli's exclusion principle, then certainly you can look at the day before yesterday lecture, means 2 lectures before this. Okay, 2 lectures before this I had taught you Pauli's exclusion principle. Okay, not the complete video was not on Pauli's exclusion principle, but one part of the particular part of that video, the two lectures before this, the particular part of that video was dedicated to Pauli's exclusion principle. Okay, so exclusion principle therefore requires that for both neutron and proton systems, intrinsic spin and orbital angular momentum vectors of all nucleons coupled to yield zero total angular momentum. So all the nucleons will be completely filled up in the shells, and as all the nucleons will be completely filled up in the shells, that is, they will be paired up. As they will be paired up, so what will happen? As they will be paired up, so total angular momentum of this system will be equal to 0 because of coupling. These two are coupled over here. You can clearly see this thing, that these two are coupled over here, these two are coupled over here, and these two are coupled over here. So they are basically neutralizing each other's orbital angular momentum and intrinsic spin also. So they are neutralizing intrinsic spin of each other, and they are also neutralizing orbital angular momentum vector of each other. So they will couple to yield total angular momentum as equal to 0. Okay, so this is the first prediction, that is total angular momentum equal to 0. Total angular momentum equal to 0 for nuclei with closed shell nuclei, that is magic nuclei. For such nuclei which have closed nuclear shells or magic number of protons and neutrons, for them total angular momentum is 0. And please note that both proton number and neutron number, both of them must be magic number. In this first case, what is the case with us? We have n, capital N and capital Z both as magic numbers. It means that the number of protons should also be magic number and number of neutrons should also be magic number. Only then total angular momentum of the nucleus will be 0. Total angular momentum of the nucleus will be 0 only in one case, when the number of protons is also a magic number and number of neutrons is also a magic number. Only then total angular momentum of the nucleus will be 0. Okay, this thing you must remember. So this thing is predicted by nuclear shell model. Now let me put this to the upward side. Now let us move on to the point number 2. Shell model is successful in predicting ground state spin and parity of large number of nuclei. One of the major successes of this nuclear shell model is that it is successful in predicting ground state spin. Okay, what is nuclear shell model doing? Nuclear shell model is basically successful in predicting ground state spin and parity. Okay, it is successful in predicting ground state spin and parity of large number of nuclei. Okay, so you can basically predict ground state spin and parity of large number of nuclei, about which I am going to teach you in this particular lecture. So we have basically case number 1 over here, and the case number 2 of this particular case we are going to learn in the upcoming lecture. Okay, where is case number 2? Let me see. So over here it is case number 2. If let me see if there is any case number 3 also. Yes, case number 3 is also there. Okay, let me see if there is any case number 4. No, there is no case number 4 over here. Okay, so basically we have 3 cases. 3 cases of what? We have 3 cases. Let me see. We have 3 cases of this particular thing, that shell model is successful in predicting ground state spin. Okay, so for prediction of ground state spin and ground state parity, in order to predict all these things, and that too for a large number of nuclei, we have basically 3 cases. So let us look at case number 1. Let us look at case number 1. So nuclei which contain a magic number of nucleons. Okay, so case number 1 is what? Nuclei which contain a magic number of nucleons of one type. Okay, nuclei which contain a magic number of nucleons of one type. Okay, so let us suppose that a magic number of nucleon is Z. Okay, and a magic number plus or minus one of the nucleons of the other type. Nucleon of one type means if it is number of proton over here, it might also be number of neutron over here. Okay, so and a magic number plus or minus one of nucleon of the other type. If it is proton of the one type, then it will be neutron of the other type. If it is neutron of the first type, then it will be proton of the other type. Okay, then the exclusion principle demands that. Now let me tell you this particular story. What is the meaning of this particular statement that magic number of nucleons of one type and a magic number plus or minus and a magic number plus or minus 1 of the nucleon of the other type? Let me tell you the meaning of this. Suppose you have N715. So what is the total number of nucleons? Total number of nucleons is 15, which is your atomic mass number. And what is your atomic number? That is equal to 7. Okay. Now the total number of neutrons in this particular case will be equal to 15 minus 7. That is equal to 8. Okay. So total number of neutrons is equal to 8 in this particular case. Now you can clearly see this thing, that magic number of nucleons of one type. Okay, you can clearly see that number of neutrons is a magic number because 8 is a magic number. As 8 is a magic number, so number of neutrons is a magic number over here. So magic number of neutrons, that is magic number of nucleons of one type. You can clearly see that magic number of nucleons of one type and magic number plus or minus 1 of nucleon of the other type. What does it mean? What does it mean by this? It means that magic number plus 1, that is either the number of protons could have been 9 or either the number of protons could have been 7. Okay, so two cases are possible. 8 plus 1 is possible and 8 minus 1 is possible. So as the element is nitrogen, so that's why we have 8 minus 1. We could also have 8 plus 1. This will also fit into the category. Which one? This particular element, fluorine. Fluorine 9. Okay, fluorine 9. What do we have? Fluorine. Fluorine. Not fluorine 9. Yes. Fluorine 9. And what do we have then? Fluorine 917. Okay, so fluorine 917 is there. If you calculate the total number of that is atomic mass number, that is your 17, and what is your atomic number? That is equal to your 9. What is the total number of neutrons? Total number of neutrons is 17 minus 9, and 17 minus 9 is what? 17 minus 9 means your 8. Okay, so magic number of nucleon, that is magic number of neutron in this case, magic number of nucleon of one type. Okay, so magic number of nucleon, that is 8 number of nucleon of one type. Okay, and magic number plus or minus 1 nucleon of the other type. So plus 1 is there. 8 plus 1 equal to 9. So magic number plus 1 of the nucleon of the other type. Over here in nitrogen, what do we have? Magic number of neutrons we have, and magic number minus 1 of protons we have. Okay, so this is the case. Now let us look at another case in which in these two cases, in the cases N715 and F917, the number of neutrons was a magic number. What if number of proton is a magic number and number of neutron is plus or minus 1 less than plus 1 or minus 1? Either it is 1 greater or 1 less than the number of protons, and number of proton is a magic number. So let us see at that particular case also. In this particular case, what do we have? O8 17. We have O8 17. So what is the total number of protons which we have over here? It is 8. And what is the total number of neutrons which we have over here? 17 minus 8, and that will be equal to your 9. Okay. So total number of protons is your 8 in this particular case, and total number of neutrons is 9 in this particular case. So the total number of protons equal to 8, that is magic number of nucleon of one type. Okay, so proton in our case, so magic number of protons in this case, and magic number plus 1. Okay, minus 1 is also allowed, but we are taking over here plus 1. So magic number plus 1, that is number of neutrons, is magic number plus 1, that is 9. So magic number plus 1 of the nucleon of other type. Other type of nucleon is neutron over here. Okay, so magic number plus 1 of the nucleon of other type. Similarly, this will also fit into the same category. O8 15. What do we have over here? We have Z equal to 8, and what do we have? N equal to 15 minus 8, which will be equal to your 7. Okay. So magic number of nucleon of one type and magic number minus 1 of nucleon of the other type. Okay, magic number of nucleon of one type, that is magic number of protons, and magic number minus 1 of nucleon of the other type, that is 7 number of neutrons. Okay, so this is the case with O8 15. So 8 minus 1 is 7, and over here 8 plus 1 is 9. So that's why these are the two cases which we have with us. Now similarly, you can look at this particular case too. You can look at this particular case also. Now in this particular case, what do we have with us? Potassium 1939. Okay. Now what is the total number of protons? Total number of protons, that is Z, that is atomic number, equal to 19. And what is the atomic mass number? Atomic mass number equal to 39. So what is the total number of neutrons in this particular case? N equal to 39 minus 19. Okay, 39 minus 19, that is equal to your 20. Okay, so 20 is a magic number clearly. So magic number of nucleon of one type, that is neutron. Neutron is the nucleon of one type. Neutron is the nucleon of one type. So magic number of nucleon of one type, that is 20 number of nucleons. And magic number minus 1, that is 20 minus 1 equal to 19. Magic number magic number minus 1 of nucleon of other type. Okay, magic number minus 1 of nucleon of other type, that is 19 number of nucleons. So magic number minus 1 of nucleon of other type. So that is the case. Now similarly, in this particular case, that is bismuth, what do we have? Bismuth 83 209. So what is the atomic mass number of bismuth? That is equal to 209. And what is the atomic mass number is 209. Now what is the atomic number? Atomic number is 83. Now let us look at the total number of neutrons in this particular case. The total number of neutrons is 209 minus 83, and that is equal to your total number of neutrons is equal to 126. Okay, now you can clearly see this thing, that magic number of nucleon of one type. Okay, and magic number of nucleon of one type, that is N equal to 126, that is magic number of neutron of one neutron, that is magic number of nucleon of one type. And magic number 82, nearest magic number is 82. So magic number 82 plus 1. So magic number plus 1 of nucleon of other type. Okay, so this is the thing. So only difference of 1 must be there. The only difference which is possible, it is the difference of 1. Okay. So, and magic number plus or minus 1 of the nucleon of other type. Similarly, you might have other examples as well. You might similarly have other examples as well. Okay. Let me give you one more example. 2, 8, 20, 28 we have like this, right? So you can have nickel, okay, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc, okay. So nickel you might have nickel 28, okay, and plus 29 will be equal to what? 57. Okay, now this is the case. So what is the total number of protons in this case? You can make your own examples too. You can make your own examples also in this particular thing. You can make your own examples. Okay. So what is the total number of protons in this? That is equal to 28. And what is the total number of neutrons? That will be equal to 57 minus 28. So what will it be equal to? Total number of neutrons will be equal to what? That will be equal to 17 minus 8, that is 9, and 4 minus 2, that is 29. Okay, so magic number of nucleon of one type, that is magic number of protons, and magic number plus 1 in this case, magic number plus 1 of nucleon of other type, that is 29 nucleons, that is 28 plus 1. So magic number plus 1 of nucleon, that is neutron of other type. Neutron is nucleon of other type and proton is nucleon of one type. Okay, so similarly you can see these things. So in all these cases, exclusion principle then demands that total angular momentum of the nucleus, if you want to find out the total angular momentum of nucleus which satisfies this particular condition, the nucleus which satisfies this particular condition, if you want to find out the total angular momentum of such a nucleus, then what can you do? If you want to find out the total angular momentum of the nucleus satisfying the above condition, then that will be equal to total angular momentum of extra nucleon or of the whole. Total angular momentum of the nucleus will be equal to total angular momentum of extra nucleon or of the whole. Extra nucleon, when there is the other type of nucleon has one magic number more. Okay, extra nucleon means the number of nucleon is suppose 83, that is 82 plus 1. It is suppose 9, that is 8 plus 1. It is suppose 3, that is 2 plus 1. Okay, so in all these cases we have extra nucleon. And when do we have holes? When we have 81 number of nucleons of other type, when we have 7 number of nucleons of the other type, when we have 1 number of nucleon of the other type. Okay, so in all these cases we have a hole. Okay, because 82 minus 1 is 81, 8 minus 1 is 7, and 2 minus 1 is 1. Over here 82 plus 1 is 83, 8 plus 1 is 9, and 2 plus 1 is 3. Similarly, you might have other examples as well, because 28 is a magic number, so 29 will fit in this case. Okay, then 21 will also fit in this case. So if you go over here in the case of hole, we must have 19 number of nucleon of the other type, and we must have 27 number of nucleon of the other type. Okay, then we will have a hole. Okay, so such are the things which are there. Okay, now in these particular cases, the total angular momentum of the nucleus is equal to total angular momentum of extra nucleon or of the whole, and nuclear spin of such a nucleus is total angular momentum quantum number J of extra nucleon or of the whole. These two, if you have watched the previous lectures, if suppose you have watched the previous lectures, then you will realize that these are same statements. Okay, they have been written repeatedly in order to revise your concept. In order to revise your concepts, they have been written repeatedly. But these two are basically same statements. If you have watched the previous lectures, then you will realize that these two are the similar statements, same statements. Okay. So total angular momentum of the nucleus is equal to total angular momentum of extra nucleon or of the hole. That is, you have to do nothing. You have to write the nuclear configuration and total angular momentum of that extra nucleon which is unpaired. Okay, because other nucleons will be paired up, right? Other nucleons will be paired up, but this particular extra nucleon, or which is one less. Okay, what happens is that what happens in this particular case, let me tell you that suppose this is the magic number of nucleons have been filled like this, suppose. Okay, magic number of nucleons have been filled up like this, suppose. Now we have one more box over here. So suppose this is what, suppose this is magic number of nucleons. Okay, so magic number plus one number of nucleon, magic number plus one nucleon, what will happen? The total angular momentum of the nucleus will be, because this is what, this is the case of magic number plus one, magic number plus one. Okay, plus one. So in this case what happens? Total angular momentum of the nucleus, total angular momentum of the nucleus is total angular momentum of this extra nucleon. Okay, now when do we have hole? When will we have hole? We will have hole in this particular case. Okay, this was the case of extra nucleon. So the total angular momentum of the nucleus will be the total angular momentum of this extra nucleon. But let us suppose we have a case of hole, then what will happen? Then in case of a hole, we will have one deficit then magic number. So one deficit then magic number. Okay, so one deficit. So as it is one deficit, okay, this would have been, if it was there, then this would have made up a magic number. But this particular thing, blue one is absent. This blue one is absent because of hole. So the total angular momentum of the nucleus will be the total angular momentum of this hole, which has been shown in blue color. Okay, so hopefully you got this, that why in case of extra nucleon we have total angular momentum of nucleus equal to total angular momentum of extra nucleon, and why in case of hole we have total angular momentum of nucleus equal to total angular momentum of the hole. Okay, so you must have got the complete picture. Okay, so this is the thing. Nuclear spin of such nuclei equal to total angular momentum quantum number j of extra nucleon or of the hole. Now with the help of examples, we will even more clearly understand this particular concept. Now example is over here. Predict the ground state spins of the following nuclei on the basis of exclusion principle. We have to predict the ground state spins of the following nuclei on the basis of exclusion principle. So let us predict the grounded state spins of these nuclei, okay, on the basis of this particular principle, which is exclusion principle. Now we have nitrogen 715. So what is the total number of protons in this? Total number of protons will be equal to Z. Okay, that will be equal to Z. And what is the total number of neutrons? That will be equal to A minus Z. So it will be equal to 15 minus 7, and that is equal to your 8. Okay, so this is the thing. Now what is your magic number? Total number of neutrons, clearly number of neutrons is what? Magic number over here. So the other type of nucleon is what? Other type of nucleon is proton, clearly. Other type of nucleon is proton. So other type of nucleon which is proton, it is 1 less, right? It is 1 less than 8. As it is 1 less than 8, so we will have a hole. So no need to write the nuclear configuration of neutrons. No need to write the nuclear configuration of neutrons, because neutron number is already a magic number. You only have to write the nuclear configuration of protons, because proton has a hole. Proton has a hole. Why it has a hole? Because total number of proton equal to 8 minus 1. That is one deficit of magic number. So just write the nuclear configuration of protons. So let us see the nuclear configuration of proton. So there is a proton hole in 2p half subshell. Now we have total number of proton equal to 7. What do we have? We have total number of proton equal to 7. So total number of proton is 7. So what happens then? Let us see. As the total number of protons is 7, so how will they be filled? How will they be filled if the total number of proton is 7? So 2 proton will be filled over here. So 2 protons over. Remaining 5 protons, how will they go? 4 protons will be filled over here. So it will be what? Total number of proton equal to 6. Okay. Now 7th proton will go over here. So what will be the nuclear configuration of N715? Okay, in N715, what will be the nuclear configuration of these protons? So let us write 1s half 2. Okay, 1s half 2. Then we have 2p 3 by 2 4, right? And we have 2p half 1. Okay, so this is the total number of protons. 1s 1 by 2 2, 2p 3 by 2 4. So 4 5 6 and 1 7. Okay, although this has a capacity to hold 2 protons, but 2 and 4 6 protons have been filled and total number of proton is only 7. So only one proton will go over here. Okay, so this is the hole. And what is the value of J for the hole? The value of J for the hole is half. As the value of J for the hole is half, the hole lies in, you can clearly see over here. The hole lies. Where does the hole lie? The proton hole lies in the 2p half subshell. Okay, you can clearly see this thing. 2p half subshell. 2p half 1. So hole lies here. So your I will be equal to J, that will be equal to half. Okay. Why it has not been shown as capital I? Because we are talking about single nucleon. Okay, only one. There is a deficit of only one nucleon, right? There is a deficit of only one proton. If it would have been 8 protons, then what would have happened? Magic number would have occurred. But we have 7 number of protons. So it is 1 less than magic number. So as it is 1 less than magic number, so that's why, because it is depending on only one nucleon, that's why instead of capital I and capital J, we have written small I and small j, because of single nucleon dependence. Thus I equal to small j equal to half, and that is what? That is your ground state spin. Equal to what? It is your ground state spin. Okay, this is your ground state spin. Now similarly we have O817. So Z equal to 8 clearly over here. And what is the value of N? Equal to 9. How did we get this? We get this by 17 minus 8. That is equal to 9. Okay. So an excess of neutron over magic number 8. So number of proton, that is number of nucleon of one type. So number of nucleon of one type, that is number of proton is 8. That is a magic number. And number of nucleon of the other type, that is neutron. Number of nucleon of other type, that is neutron. So that is one more than magic number. Okay. So n equal to 9 is an excess of neutron over magic number 8. Okay, so you can clearly see this thing that we have case of extra nucleon over here. So extra nucleon is there in neutron, so no need to write the nuclear configuration of proton, no need to write the nuclear configuration of proton, no need to write the nuclear configuration of proton, only write the nuclear configuration of neutron because it is in excess. And whatever will be the spin of excess neutron, one excess neutron, that will be the ground state spin of the complete nucleus. Okay, so what do we have with us? If you look at the nuclear shell model, you will find that we have total number of neutron equal to 9. So as the total number of neutron is equal to 9, so what will happen? As the total number of neutron equal to 9, so you can clearly see this thing that two neutron will go over here. Okay, 4 neutron will go over here, and 2 neutron will again go over here. Okay, so 8 number of neutron is over. Then the ninth neutron will go over here. So only 1 neutron will be filled over here. Okay, so what will be the nuclear configuration? Nuclear configuration of proton. Okay, so what will be the nuclear configuration of proton in this particular case? O817. We have O817, right? So we have O817. So we have O817. O817. We have like this. So what will be the number of neutrons? So number of neutrons is your 9. So nuclear configuration of neutrons in this nucleus, what will be the nuclear configuration of neutrons? So clearly it will be 1s half 2. Okay, 1s half 2. Then we will have 2p 3 by 2 4, right? Then we have 2p 1 by 2 2, right? Then we will have 3d 5 by 2 1. Okay, this will be the nuclear configuration of neutrons for this particular nucleus. Okay, so let us see the nuclear configuration with respect to neutrons for this nucleus. So you can clearly see this thing that 1s half will have 2, 2p 3 by 2 will have 4, 2p half will have 2, so 8 number of neutrons over. So 3d 5 by 2 will accommodate the 9th neutron. Okay, and according to the rule which we have learned, that the value of J for the extra nucleon is there in this particular shell, 3d 5 by 2, that will have 9th neutron. Okay, so extra neutron is there in 3d 5 by 2. So the value of J will be 5 by 2 for this. So the ground state spin will also be 5 by 2 for this complete nucleus. Okay, and why it happened? Because the number of nucleon of the other type was magic number 1 more than magic number. Okay, number of nucleon of other type was 1 more than magic number. That's why it happened. It satisfied that particular condition about which I had already told in the beginning of the video. Okay, so that's why. So I equal to J equal to 5 by 2. This is the situation which we have with us. Now similarly, potassium 1939, Z equal to 19 clearly. Okay, Z equal to 19 and total number of neutrons is equal to 20. That is a magic number. Okay, so the total number of protons is what? Total number of protons. So number of neutron is magic number. So magic number of nucleon of one type, and magic number plus or minus 1 of nucleon of other type. Okay, so over here we have magic number minus 1, that is 20 minus 1 equal to 19 of the nucleon of other type. Other type means proton. Okay, so this is the case with us. So we have proton deficiency, that is proton hole. So no need to write the nuclear configuration of this particular thing because it is a magic number. So just write the nuclear configuration of this particular thing. Now let us try to write the nuclear configuration of this particular thing. So it is a doubly magic nucleus except for proton hole in 3D 3x2 subshell. If you try to write the nuclear configuration of this particular thing, so Z equal to 19. So let us see the nuclear configuration. Let us see the nuclear configuration of this particular thing. Let us see this. So we will have two protons over here because 19 is total number of proton. So we will have a situation of this kind. Okay. So the last unpaired proton will go in 3D 3x2. Okay. So you can clearly see the nuclear configuration. It is nuclear configuration with respect to proton. What is it? Nuclear configuration with respect to proton is 1s half 2. Okay, 1s half 2, 2p 3x2 4, 2p half 2, 3d 5x2 6, 2s half 2, 3d 3x2 1. This is the nuclear configuration with respect to proton. So 3d 3x2 1. Now so you can clearly see this thing that it is what 3d 3x2 will have one nucleon, that is one proton. So whatever will be the this of hole. Okay, so hole lies over here, hole lies over here. So I equal to j equal to 3/2. So value of j is 3/2 for this particular thing. So the ground state spin for this nucleus will be 3/2. That's why. Okay. Now with bismuth 83209. So Z equal to 83. So total number of proton is 83. Total number of neutron equal to 209 minus 83. That is equal to 126. So that is a magic number. So number of neutron is a magic number. So magic number of nucleon of one type, that is neutron over here. So nucleon of one type is neutron. Nucleon of one type is neutron. So magic number of nucleon of one type, that is magic number of neutron. Okay. And magic number plus minus 1. So magic number plus 1 is the case with us. 82 plus 1 is 83. So magic number plus 1. Okay. Magic number plus 1 of nucleon of other type. Other type of nucleon is proton. So magic number is 82. So magic number plus 1. 82 plus 1 of nucleon of other type. Nucleon of other type is proton. Okay. So no need to write the nuclear configuration with respect to neutron. No need to write. Only write the nuclear configuration with respect to proton, because it is a case of excess proton. Okay, 82 plus 1, so excess proton. Now when we try to write the nuclear configuration of Z equal to 83, what do you get? Let us try to write the nuclear configuration of bismuth with respect to proton. Let us try to write the nuclear configuration of bismuth with respect to proton. So you can clearly see this thing, that it has 83 number of proton. Okay, so one last proton will go over here. All these will be filled up. All these will be filled up for bismuth, right? All these will be filled up, and the last nucleon, that is the last proton, up to here 82 number of proton, right? Up to here 82 number of proton. So the 83rd proton will go over here. So 83rd proton will be in 6H9/2. 83rd proton will be in 6H9/2. So value of J for this particular thing, value of J is what? 9/2. Okay. So you can yourself, you have to write the nuclear configuration in examination. Okay, you must note this fact. Please note this fact that over here we have not written the nuclear configuration. Okay. Over here we have not written the nuclear configuration, but in examination you have to write the nuclear configuration of bismuth. In examination you must write it, no matter how much long it is. no matter how much long the nuclear configuration is, no matter how much long the nuclear configuration is, still you have to write the nuclear configuration in the examination. Over here I haven't written that, but you have to write it. Okay, so Z equal to 83, N equal to 126, so it is doubly magic except for extra proton in 6H 9/2 subshell. So it should have I equal to J equal to 9/2. So the ground state spin of this particular nucleus is equal to 9/2 clearly. Okay, because the last nucleon, that is the last proton, which is extra proton, it goes in 6H 9/2 subshell, and J equal to 9/2 for this subshell. So ground state spin will be equal to the value of J for that last nucleon. So ground state spin is 9/2. Okay, so this was all about case number 1. This was all about case number 1. Now from case number 2 onwards. We will look in the next class. Okay, so till then, keep yourself calm and healthy. Keep yourself calm and healthy. Keep studying a lot. Keep exercising also. Keep meditating also along with studies. Those are also an essential part of your life. Keep away from any tobacco product or alcohol. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.